Ladies and gentlemen, what do you mean Barbie didn't get nominated in her own film? For this is a Fred Daling Productions podcast.
Aha!
Wow.
That is a good thing that Ugly Betty got something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cue the music.
Cue music!
Cue music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have company! Loud noises!
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Kendall Richardson.
And I'm the computer savvy, Savoy, on my license, Michael Lister.
And you are now experiencing a podcast called Thread.
Yes, experiencing it through the medium of Back to Where We Were, streaming on 3 platforms.
Three.
But
Not
we will
one,
get-
but two, but three.
1, a 2, a 3. No one in Australia gets that.
Nah.
Some sort
No,
of
no one's
lollipop or something. Anyway,
Welcome to the show, everybody. How are we doing? We're good. It's good to be here another week.
Yes.
Another installment of nonsense from us. Fulia once more sends her profuse and profound apologies. Yes, she's doing the hockey thing this week. So
she went from tennis to hockey.
unfortunately- Tennis to hockey. She just loves her sports. Yes, back in the hockey thing. So hopefully next week we'll have her back with us. But yeah, if not, then we'll carry on as we do. And it'll just make the reunion all the sweeter for our first episode of 2024 with her back.
Yes.
Whenever that may be.
We'll
Yes,
keep.
But we missed you, Julia.
Yes, we'll keep buggering on.
Keep buggering on. Yes. As we like to do, starting with, of course, the weekly watchings. Michael,
Hello.
what have you been watching? Hello.
Well, I haven't really been watching much like conventional stuff. I've recently found something on YouTube that I absolutely adore. Someone, possibly, the actual company, but they've up to date to put on every single episode of Count Duckula. I love this as a kid, and it's all on YouTube, and I've been watching it and enjoying it, and it's very witty, and a lot of jokes go over kids' heads, but I appreciate it in my elderly age. So that's been fun. I always enjoy it. Out of all the Thames or Thiems, which is a British animation company like Danger Mouse and all that, which originally Count Duckula came from, and it was a spin-off. Count Duckula was my jam because I, as a kid, had a vicinity of like just cartoon ducks. I don't know why. It's like that was my favorite. That was my jam. Just if it was a cartoon and it had ducks in it, I gobbled it up. Yeah, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, even Donald Duck's my favorite, and Daffy Duck is my favorite. Like, who wants to be Bugs Bunny when you can be Daffy? I mean, seriously. And yes, and in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I didn't give a stuff if Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse was sharing the same screen time. It was all Daffy Duck and Donald Duck dueling pianos was me. That was mine. That was mine. My own.
Mine.
Fine. Yeah, and so that was basically it. And the other unconventional stuff is it's almost my birthday. Yes. And I'm not gonna say when. I'm not gonna say when or how old I'm getting. 27, always. Yes. And as such, I've just recently watched the entire gameplay of Last of Us 1.
Hey, nice.
Yes. All
And?
11 hours, including the DLC. And I was halfway through, well, probably less than halfway. And I went, you know what? I don't have a DVD / Blu-ray player anymore because it decided to cark itself. So I want to kill two birds with one stone here. And I always want to play Last of Us, especially Last of Us 2, when that comes out next year sometime. I want to play it. And in order to do that, I need to get a PS4. For my birthday, I'm getting myself a PS4.
Hey.
And I'll be getting me Last of Us 1, so I'll play that for reals. And that'll help me learn how to play the PlayStation again. Because I'm all Switch at the moment, so I know that off by heart. And I was an Xbox guy for some reason, and of course, Last of Us was exclusively on the PS, and I missed out on that grand adventure. So here I am going back, and the PS4 is the perfect one because I could get both games pretty cheap because there was a remaster for Last of Us 1, and Last of Us Part 2 came out on PS4, so I could get them both at that time. Because I don't want to fork out $700 for a PS5 because I'm not made of money. I need to get my kids through education first. Yeah, and with that, maybe later on down the track, I can finally play Spider-Man, do the Spider-Man thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
And Red Dead Redemption 2, I reckon. Because I've got a friend at work who, we love shooting the shit, and probably the only person that can speak nerdy as me. So yeah, can't wait for that. So that's what I'm planning to do soon. I'll be doing doing a playthrough, and
Doing a playthrough.
I don't know. We're on the Twitch now, so maybe if I find the ways of streaming it, and hopefully not get spoiled through the chat. Oh, I don't read chat. Never read chat.
Yeah, never read chat.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to cry on screen. I never. I don't know. After like recording myself watching Power of the Doctor, and vowing, I'm not gonna show people this because I'm quite an ugly crier, and I don't want that.
I don't think so.
I don't need that. I don't need to show my softer side. I'm all man. I'm alpha man.
Oh man, you're a manly man.
A manly man. I have man bits. I have man bits to prove. Me, man.
Man.
So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. And for some reason I got YouTube Premium because I was getting really sick of ads just popping up during the walk play.
Don't even get me started on YouTube ads. Fuck me.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. The first one is like, okay, I'm getting it. The first ad that was very inappropriate is when is the first scene where they get shot. It's like bang, and then all of a sudden an ad pops up. It's like,
oh
no!
My god,
I'm already in emotion and can't stop selling me Danos Direct or whatever the fuck it was.
Danos Direct.
I know. Yeah. So that's what basically my week is. I've sort of put Critical Role on hold. So. And just keeping myself up to date with the stuff that I'm talking about later on, because I've got 3 episodes to talk about for Doctor Who.
We do.
for the future. And I can't wait to hear your views on that. Yes.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Yeah, so that is me. What about you?
What me? Yes. Well, speaking of man bits, I went to the movies.
Saltburn again?
No, actually.
I've been I've been getting a lot of reactions on TikTok. It's like my dad's reaction after watching the bath scene. And his dad's like,
Yeah.
as I said, you can see the generational divide. It's like all these boomers are very like clutching their pearls. It's like, come on, we've seen worse. We're the 4chan generation.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway,
This
your
is
man
true.
bits.
Anyway, man bits, yes. Yes, no, I have not seen Saltburn again yet. However, I did indulge in a couple of trips to the movies where I saw the first thing I saw was The Iron Claw.
Oh yeah.
Yes, which is a film based on the true story of the Von Erich family, wrestling family in the late 70s and 80s, and their rise to, I should say, infamy, I suppose, and just straight up tragedy because God fucking damn. Yeah, it broke me a bit. This movie, I knew nothing going in. Like I knew they were involved with wrestling, and all the sons. Like it's his family. Like the dad was a wrestler, but his career didn't work out. So of course he's passing that on to his kids and wants them to be the success he never was.
Yeah, living vicariously through.
Yeah, basically. So all the brothers they have. Or actually, I should state there are 5 brothers in the family, but they had to cut one for time, literally. So there's only 4 of the brothers get mentioned in the movie. Well, actually, there's technically 6 brothers, but I'll explain it maybe later. But anyway, regardless, it's very messed up. So they all go into wrestling, and yeah, it's bad things keep happening because there's a thing that kind of gets mentioned at the beginning of the film, which is called the Von Erich curse. And it's it's just whatever, you don't think anything of it. It's just a bit of a laugh. It's just a bit of, oh yeah, a couple of bad things happened and whatnot, and one of those brothers died when he was very young, and they were like, okay, this is getting a bit dark, and yeah, and then everything was fine. They're all wrestling and doing their thing, and yeah, and then I'm not gonna, I mean, I know it's a true story and it happened years and years ago, but my God, I just would want to say watch the movie because I've never sat through a film where my jaw has just continuously dropped. Bad shit just keeps happening to this family and it is fucking devastating. But that said, it's a very good movie. Severely underrated. I don't know how it's kind of gone under the radar this award season. But it's a bit unfortunate. But that being said, yeah, it's very much worth your time. It's just over 2 hours long, but they don't waste a single minute of that. Zac Efron plays the main brother that they decide to focus on, Kevin Von Erich, and he's fantastic. Another great performance from him. And Jeremy Allen White from The Bear plays one of the other brothers, Kerry. And yeah, he has a very tragic story, that one. But yeah, it's really interesting because they're all real people. So there's some certain names and personalities from the WWF that then became WWE get mentioned. Like for example, Ric Flair is in the movie. To which one of my good friends, who's a massive wrestling fan, watched it and was like, everything was great except for Ric Flair. The guy who did Ric Flair was just doing a really bad impression and it wasn't good. And I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. Because I just thought that's how he was. Like, he's just this larger than life kind of crazy, flamboyant character. But no, apparently he's a bit better than that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Ooh,
yeah, but no, it was a...
That's my impression.
But
of like
Yeah.
5.
But yeah, it was a brilliant, brilliant movie. I recommend. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy it. It's just a tragic human and family story with some incredible acting and yeah, some great direction and some just ah, oh, yeah. Just brace yourself for emotions because there will be many. There will be many. But yes. Speaking of emotions and crying, I saw another movie at the cinemas this week that broke me. I took myself to see All of Us Strangers. Finally, I've been waiting for this one for so long, and yeah, it was worth the wait. I will say, it's a beautiful, beautiful film. Uh, this romantic supernatural drama, if you will. Because there are
Twilight.
ghosts. It's Twilight. It's the Zoomers Twilight. No, it's just a really beautiful story of Andrew Scott plays this man who lost his parents in a car accident when he was coming into his teens, and he's a screenwriter, and I think he's writing the story of his life, I think, or he's trying to like figure out a way to adapt certain parts of his life, and he ends up going to visit his family home, and he starts hanging out with his dead mum and dad, and you don't question it. It's very, you accept that he's just seeing them, and he can just see them. You're like the movie does a really good job of letting the viewer decide what's real and what's fake, and if he's crazy or if the ghosts are real. Like, the movie does not definitively answer that. It leaves it up in the air, and I really appreciate that. As a writer myself, that's really, really cool. And yeah, and it's just heartbreaking because like at the same time he's also, you know, getting involved in a relationship with his neighbor, played by Paul Mescal. And the two of them have like outrageous chemistry. Like, it's insane. It's seeping through the screen. It's just the two of them. The two of them are just incredible together. Yeah, and just broke me. The whole movie just broke me. It was beautiful. But yeah, it's very, very sad as well because it's about losing family members, and that's So I saw two movies about dead families. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, it's fun for me. I had a good, happy, jolly time.
Yeah.
But I really recommend people go see All of Us Strangers. It's so good. And the soundtrack is amazing because it has a good mix of like contemporary British music and also like older like 80s stuff as well, because his parents died in the 80s, and so there's a bit of a period element to it as well. But it's just it was wonderful. It's in here and it's not going away. So I'm very it lived up to my expectations, I'll say that. So I'm very happy.
That's
good. Yes. And then the final thing I'll mention before we move on, I finally finished One Piece Season 1, the live-action Netflix adaptation.
Yeah, you're doing better than me.
Oh, you haven't finished the Netflix?
I was sort of watching the anime bits first before the new episode.
Ah, right.
And I stopped. So I'm not. I'm up to the portrayal end, and I thought, okay. I think I'm up to like.
So you're right near the end.
Yeah, I think I'm up to the last episode.
Yeah, because the betrayal
two.
happens, I think, going into the last one. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, after the
or maybe
restaurant.
the last two. Yeah. Yeah. Sanji, my new favorite character. I still love Zoro, and the episode with him and his backstory was really great. But no, Sanji just stole the show for me in the end. He's my favorite of the group of the Straw Hat Gang.
Chicks love guys who can cook.
I just love the way he just, it's not just the cooking, it's just like, the suit and the hair
Yeah.
and the way he fights. He's like super strong and like just has these moves that he can just, very agile, just jump and spin and kick and things. Like it's just, you wouldn't expect it. And then he just does it. It's like, oh, okay, nice. But no, I thought he was great, and I really liked the backstory we got of him. And the head chef that owned Baratier. Learning about their story and how they came to be where they are. I really like that this first season, and I'm sure the anime must be similar, obviously, but I like how it's taken almost not every episode, but most episodes you're gonna get. Not only are you going to meet one of the Straw Hat Pirates, but you're going to get their story. You're going to get their backstory and find out what happened to them, why they are the way they are, what their motivations are. So it does a really good job of making these characters fleshed out, well-rounded. And it made me like Nami a bit more in the end, because I didn't love Nami. She was probably my least favorite, and she probably still is my least favorite but that's not a negative thing now. I like her more now that I know what she went through, because going into like when the betrayal happens and all this shit, spoilers, but
no, that's all right. I'm sort of spoiled it for me for the anime, so I'm actually in the sort of betrayal bit, and there's like a turn at the moment.
Yeah, it all gets explained and whatnot, but once that got explained for me, I was like, oh, okay, I can appreciate you, a little bit more. But it was a great show. It's fun, and I loved the when you get to it, you'll really enjoy the obviously, I mean, it's not really a huge spoiler, but obviously the head of the Marines, that dude, the Scottish dude, is gonna
impressive mustache.
Yes, the impressive
mustache,
Scottish
mustache.
Man. Yes. Oh, not him. That's the chef. I think maybe he's also Scottish. I don't know. Maybe they're both Scottish. No, I'm talking about the head of the Marines, the lieutenant, the general.
Yep.
That dude.
Did we find out it's Luffy's
grandfather?
Yeah, that bit.
Yes. That was an interesting twist.
Yeah, they introduced that pretty not in the anime, so I was going, "Ooh, okay." So this live action TV show spoiled the anime for me.
Whoops.
How dare you?
How dare you? But the confrontation in the last episode between him and Luffy is it was really well done. A lot of the villains they introduced. I'm guessing you've seen Mihawk then, the vampire-looking dude with the big sword and the hat and the yellow eyes. No.
Oh yeah. And he's
the one that nearly killed Zoro.
Yeah, because he's the best in the world, and Zoro wants to be the best in the world. And I've seen that.
I like him.
I've seen that bit.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I liked him a lot as well. Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to the second season of the live action One Piece. That'll be out next year, I'm guessing. Netflix haven't said when, but it's confirmed that it's getting a second season at least. So it's a very good show, and I won't say any more because I don't want to spoil it for you. But yeah,
it sort of already is spoiled. I'm sort of like playing catch up at the same time of knowing.
That's all right.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I finally got there. Enjoyed it very much. All right, let's press on with the rest of the show and dive in now to the week that was in the nerdy news.
This is the news in nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with most S, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Take it away now.
I will. Alrighty, our first item in store for the news this week is some Doctor Who news, actually. And I'm very curious for your thoughts on this, Mike. But I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised or saddened by this announcement because Millie Gibson, Ruby Sunday herself, is going to be leaving the show at the end of the first season, if I've got that correct. She's going to do one season as the companion and then will be departing the show. And I just saw today, as I was doing the prep for the show, that they've actually cast Varada Sethu to replace it, to be the new companion after Ruby leaves. We saw her in Andor. She was Kaz, one of the rebels in Andor that we met. So so she's apparently going to be stepping in. Very good opportunity for her. I'm sure she'll do wonderfully. But I'm sad that Millie Gibson is leaving. You know, we've only seen one episode, one special with her so far. So we've got a whole season to look forward to. That'll be starting in, when is it, March or April? I can't remember.
Sometime
now.
in March.
Sometime in March. So, you know, but as I said, like, it's, you know, I probably shouldn't be surprised or sad because, you know, this is not the first time a companion has left after one season.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting that they've announced it this early, though. Maybe I don't know if that's protocol for the way Doctor Who works. 'Cause this is all still new to me, but yeah. What are your thoughts, Mike? Do you have any hot takes for us?
A little bit of a hot take. This was this was in the Mirror, so it wasn't from the official, like, Doctor Who anything, or even Bad Wolf. But things are pointing towards is, well, it's a big possibility that she might be just a one season and done companion, which isn't out of the ordinary. I mean, previous companions, Martha Jones, Donna, and Clara soon. Can't remember Amy and Rory. I think they did 3. I could be wrong there.
Ooh.
No.
Okay.
What am I doing? 2, I think. I don't know. Spoilers ahead for that. Yeah, and so they haven't really come out and actually confirmed or even denied. The only thing that we have got is Shooty's Instagram had a picture of those two and just a I love my little Gemini. Because he's big into horoscopes and that, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of speculation that before this there was some quote unquote bad press of the same news outlet was saying that she's complaining that the shoots are long and she's a bit of a diva and all this crap.
No.
So.
Okay.
My speculation goes either this is a big ploy to like get rid of her, or just blown out of proportion. I won't know until the season starts the way things are going, because I think the reason why they released the casting. The new casting of the companion is because they're filming at the moment. They're filming the second season of Shooty at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sort of a big turnaround where everything for the first season is in the can. Whoops, and the second season obviously is going to be next year. So sort of getting on the jump there. So they're filming pretty much fast on. Like hitting the ground running, so they don't skip a year or anything like that. But the problem is, stuff like this is going to get out. So,
yeah,
big bummer. I was like, expecting this companion not to be is going to be gone at the end is a bit of a poo, because you're sort of waiting for that. It's annoying.
Spoilers.
Yeah, a bit of a bigger spoiler. So hopefully her story is all wrapped up by the end, and no loose ends really. And don't do it. Don't. I don't know. Don't do a companion death. We're not ready for that shit. Not just yet. Don't need it.
No.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm in two minds. It's like I hope everyone's happy. I want everyone to be happy on my Doctor Who. But Christopher Eccleston. Yeah. There was a big sort of bust up there. So it's annoying. But, politics gonna polk.
Indeed. All right. Let's move on to our next news item, and that is about Invincible, the animated series adaptation of the graphic novel. We are on hiatus with that show at the moment. They're halfway through their second season, and this week we finally got confirmation as to when the second part of season 2 will be debuting. So it's going to be streaming from Thursday the 14th of March, so Friday for us here in Oz.
Everything happened in March.
Everything's coming in March. February and March, man, it's going to be jam-fucking-packed. So 4 months since the beginning of the first half of the season, so a little bit longer of a gap than I think I remember. They did a break in the first season when that aired, but I don't think it was this long. So that's interesting. But no, I might have to rewatch maybe the last episode just to get back in the groove, because it was getting on a really good trajectory. Like the momentum was strong.
Yeah.
And the story was really starting to just kick into gear. So I'm sure when we get back to it, it'll be just fucking balls to the wall, blood on the wall, if you will, and lots of violence and fun times. Apparently too, this is a little bit of fun trivia. The announcement was made on the 21st anniversary of the inception of the comic book series. So that's a little bit of fun.
20.
But yes, we've got four episodes left to go. I think it's only going to be 8 episodes all up. And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited. But we have to wait another month and a half.
No.
No, Mike. What do you make of this? Are you happy to wait a little bit longer?
No, I want it now.
Yeah, I want it now.
I want it now. I'm really enjoying the show at the moment. It's going to a very interesting area, and take on superhero genre is always a refreshing take. And it's also interesting as well. Yeah, not as stale as most things are. I know there's a big people going, oh, why does it have to be a break? Why don't they make it all? And just well, because animation takes a long time to make, and in order to keep people interested, then they need to put out bits and pieces. I mean, the show that I've been watching as well, Hell of a Boss, and they released the first 4 episodes, and then every Friday they've been releasing other episodes, which is also an interesting show as well. It's all to do with heaven and hell. It's always good. But their main show that the creators do on YouTube, they upload their episode of no, sorry, I said the wrong thing. Has Been Hotel is the show that's on Prime, but Hell of a Boss is on the YouTube. So their show Hell of a Boss is in the same universe. They release their episodes every time they finish making it. So it's usually like every 2 months or so.
Right.
of creation, or it takes a complete year from conception to full render and up. So and there, unfortunately, there are people like me who enjoy the show, but every time an episode starts, it's like, okay, where the hell am I? I don't know. This is too far in between shows, in between episodes, and I don't know where I am. I'm laughing. It's funny, but narratively,
Yeah.
I am in the dark. So
Yeah, not great.
yeah, it's just a very interesting way of Invincible doing. So I can't wait. Very busy March. Big March.
Very busy. Very busy. Yes.
No time for Doctor Who. Pooh.
Oh, there'll be time for Doctor Who.
Always time for Doctor Who.
Always time for Doctor Who. Okay, next up in the news, we've got some more Last of Us Season 2 news. This week they announced a bunch of directors that were signing on to direct episodes of the second season, which is pretty exciting just based on the two big names that they've added. Of course, they've got
two big names.
Two big names. Loki director Kate Herron is going to be directing an episode, which makes me very happy for her. She's clearly a very talented woman. Season 1 of Loki was just a masterclass. And, for someone such as herself who'd only really done, small-time sort of TV, for her to come in and take an MCU thing and do what she did was just phenomenal. So it's really nice to see not only she's working on Doctor Who, but as a writer, but now she's picking up the directing reins again and gonna join Joel and Ellie for their continued adventures. Make it sound so lighthearted. It's not.
Well, if you think about it, it's like Loki being science fiction. It's a very, very interstellar sort of bizarre take and everything. Low-key, yes, in filming, but still, emotional tensions are high.
Emotional tensions are high, yes. The other great director they've got is Mark Mylod, who is an Emmy-winning director for his work on Succession. And he also directed one of my favourite movies of 2022, The Menu. So I'm keen to see what he's going to bring to the Last of Us universe. Other directors they named Stephen Williams, who worked on Watchmen, the series, and Nina Lopez Corrado, who worked on the HBO Perry Mason adaptation a couple years back. Good to see another female name in the list there. And they're going to be joining returning directors, Peter Hoare, who directed Long Time, the Bill and Frank episode. That was, one of the greatest episodes of television ever. So
they're never coming back. I'm so sad.
I know I mean, it's fine. I don't think we need. That's perfect. Their story was perfectly done. I don't think we need any more.
No.
I think it would just undo.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah, too much of a good thing. But no, they're going to be joining, of course. Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann are going to be directing some episodes as well. So, good shit. They're really continuing the trend of quality at The Last of Us. I can't wait to see the next season. It's going to be, as we've already said, this episode's going to be probably another year before we see anything. It was this time last year when we were all crying over Bill and Frank, I think. So it's been a year since that. So another year to go, and it's going to be worth the wait. And
yes.
I can't wait. It's going to be... Anyway, I'm most excited. Michael, how are you feeling? Do these names inspire you and give you hope for the continuation of the story?
Oh yeah, especially big name TV directors with Loki, Succession. I mean, these are all gangbuster TV shows, so it's great that they're sinking their teeth into something else that's remarkable and great. They haven't started. Word is, don't think they start filming until like end of February, something like that.
Okay.
Because I need to get like weather or whatever. Like it's too cold. It's too cold at the moment. And these clickers need to survive in heat. Yeah. So, and I don't know the story, so that's why I bought the thing. I bought the thing. I bought the thing so I can play it.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna play it and cry. And then my wife is going, "Why are you crying?" It's like, "Game." He's like, "Why are you crying at the game?" Because it's sad. She doesn't get me why I like to cry at shit. It's like, because it proves that I am more than a man. I'm a man who cries.
A man who cries.
I'm an alpha man who cries. And that's going to be on my tombstone. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And word is probably going to be split into two, which I want more of, please. I don't want this to end because I'm invested. I want to see Ellie do good shit. And I got worried for her at the end of the first season. And it's probably going to break me. And why am I crying right now? Shut up.
No.
Go back to you.
All right. Let's talk about something you don't give two shits about, and that is the Oscars.
Hey,
Yay.
I'll cry at that saying, why, oh, why?
Our last item.
I
of
wish
news
I
this
didn't
week,
eat
of
that
course.
fish. Or whatever the Simpsons thing is.
Yeah. I wish I never ate. I never killed that fish. Yeah.
Killed.
He sits on it. Yes, the Oscars. The nominations for the 96th Academy Awards, if I can speak, were announced earlier this week. And to no one's surprise, Oppenheimer is leading the pack, 13 nominations, including Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Director, and Best Picture. Yeah, I think the odds are in its favor to take home the big prize of the night. Behind Oppenheimer, of course, we had Poor Things, which had 11 nominations, which is also very impressive, including Director and Picture and Best Actress for Emma Stone. And then following that, Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon got 10 nominations, including Best Picture, Director, and another Best Actress nomination. Lily Gladstone made history as the first Native American woman to be ever nominated for an Oscar.
Hey.
So that's absolutely fantastic to see. There was actually quite a diverse pool of races amongst the nominees this year, which was fantastic. And some women as well.
Yeah.
Except for directors, which I will vent about in a moment.
Yeah. Just giving you a croissant.
Yeah, little appetizer.
An appetizer for your rage.
My rage.
Your woman rage.
My woman rage, yes. Yes, other well-nominated movies included Barbie and Maestro, both with 8 and 7 nominations respectively. And the nominees I will read out first for Best Picture are thus: American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. 2 foreign films out of that 10, The Zone of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall. That's very, very great to see. And I'm so glad Past Lives got nominated, because that was probably one of the best movies of 2023. And I was a bit scared as I was watching the nominations announced live. I stayed up late to watch it as they were going through, and they were getting snub after snub, and they got a screenplay nomination. Celine Song, who wrote and directed the movie, got a nomination for screenplay, and then of course she gets a nomination for Best Picture, which was really, really nice. And Spider-Verse got nominated for Best Animated Movie. Guardians of the Galaxy I'm pretty sure got nominated for visual effects. If I can, yeah, it did, along with Mission Impossible. Godzilla minus one got a
Visual
nomination.
effects.
Visual effects, baby.
That was
I think
phenomenal.
it's yeah. I actually cannot wait to see this movie. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching it. Apparently it's the first time a Godzilla movie's been nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, for anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so the reaction was great to see. Yes, and what else is there to mention before I start ranting? No, that's it. I'm just gonna start ranting. So
Yeah, do it. Let that inner feminist out. Keep her in a
man,
cage.
man, I
Yeah.
just the post that was going around on social media was like, did no one in the Academy watch Barbie? Because they've literally, the point of the movie has just been lost. Because
When will it end?
Ryan Gosling got a nomination, deservedly so,
Yeah.
for supporting actor. And of course, you mentioned earlier, America Ferrera got a nomination for Best Supporting Actress, which is wonderful for her. She's so talented. I haven't seen May December yet. That was one of the movies that got snubbed, so I need to see that before I can say maybe someone else like Natalie Portman or Julianne Moore should have got nominated over her. But I haven't seen that movie, so I can't make that call. But the internet made that call. But anyway, I'm very happy for America, and I'm glad she got nomination. Barbie also got nominated in Best Adapted Screenplay. How it's adapted, I don't really understand entirely. I get it, I guess. Maybe like it's adapted from a doll. I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch. I think that was the only way they were going to get an Oscar nomination, is if they switched from original screenplay into adapted, and it worked. So, props to them. Now to the nitty gritty of my rage, as you so put, Michael. Margot Robbie did not get nominated for her performance. She was left out. I mean, that is nothing against the actresses that were nominated. You had Annette Bening, Lily Gladstone, Sandra Hüller, Carey Mulligan, and Emma Stone. Very talented actresses in their own rights and very much deserving of nominations. However, I don't understand why they couldn't nominate Margot Robbie somehow. I don't know. It just baffles me. Because like what Ryan Gosling did was amazing. He's not going to win. Let's just be clear. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s award. But Margot, what she put into that role, like, the humor, the heart, the grit, the emotion, the many faceted layers of that character, were so well done. And a very unique kind of performance in terms of that. So it's just disappointing that, Barbie can't get a fucking nomination or a movie. But for me, for my money, the biggest snub that had me kind of reeling was the fact that the Academy decided not to nominate Greta Gerwig for Best Director. This one, yeah, kills me. Yay, they nominated Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall. So they ticked their box and nominated a female. Ticked two boxes, maybe because it's a foreign movie. Who knows? But Greta was getting nominated. Everywhere else, she's, the talk of Hollywood over the last 6+ months about this movie, going on a year. And for them to not recognize her, I think, is just very upsetting. What she pulled off with that movie, and the fact that it did so well, it was a fucking phenomenon last year. Like, Barbenheimer was 2023, and of course Christopher Nolan gets the nomination because, I mean, yeah, deservedly so. What he achieved with Oppenheimer was outstanding, and my money's on him to take home the award. He's been winning everywhere else.
It's Return of the King all over again.
Yeah, it is.
has that
It
feeling.
definitely is. It really does.
Yeah.
It really
All male
does.
cast, and
they're giving excuse me, they're giving Christopher Nolan his due, which is totally fine. I'm not asking for Greta Gerwig to win. No one's asking for her to win, but to be nominated, she should have been in that list. Yeah, but I mean, not to knock on Martin Scorsese, I still haven't seen Killers of the Flower Moon, but the dude has been nominated for a bajillion Oscars. He's won an Oscar at least once. Let's just spread the love, share the love a little bit.
Go away,
Anyway,
Martin.
Go away. It's a bit fucking bullshit. Hashtag justice for Greta, in my opinion. I can live with Margot not getting nominated, but Greta being snubbed is just terrible. And I really respect Ryan Gosling and his reaction. The statement that he put out to just say that, you know, there is no Barbie without Greta or Margot. So what the fuck, basically. Yeah, it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. But at the end of the day, it's, you know, Barbie's still nominated for Best Picture. It's up there for writing and a couple of acting, nominations, not director. So we'll see if it gets some love. But I'm sure it'll win a bunch in the tech categories. But yeah, justice for Greta. Anyway, that's my my reaction to the Oscars. I don't think I've left anything out. Although Andrew Scott should have been nominated for All of Us Strangers, and he wasn't. Even the BAFTAs snubbed him, and that pissed me off. I hadn't even seen the movie yet, and I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" Anyway, it's good times. Michael, I know you could not care less about any of this.
I'm really enjoying the spiel.
Good. Do you have anything to add to my rant, or are you good?
It's sort of the same, especially with the Greta Gerwig thing. It's like, yeah, that's kind of shitty. But you know, I've never really liked the Oscars, and ever since, you know, it was sort of Shakespeare in Love sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Somehow that was Best Picture.
Over Saving Private Ryan, somehow. Yeah.
Are you saying the Oscars are also political? Oh, shut up. Anyway. Congrats for the people who are, and congrats for the people who aren't. You're better than that. Yeah. So we know which movies are going to be throughout the test of time being taught in schools and stuff, and Barbenheimer, both of them are equally valid and good. It's just, I can't really add too much to it.
No, that's okay. One final thing I forgot to mention that I will before we move on, is that Coleman Domingo got nominated for his performance in Rustin, and it made him either the first or the second openly gay actor portraying a gay character to be nominated for an Oscar. I thought that was worth mentioning because that's just excellent.
Wait, gay people can play gay characters? I thought it was just for straight people.
Right?
Yeah. I like it when I know a heterosexual man is gay. It makes it safe for me to enjoy my media.
Oh boy.
I'm not. Anyway.
Excuse me. Anyway, go Coleman.
Go.
Alrighty, let's
grab that bag.
That bag. Let's move on out of the nerdy news because we're done and it's time to roll on up to the trailer park.
If I can find the file. There it is.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers.
Okay. It's trailer park time, and boy, can I just say, did I have some research to do because Hollywood decided to drop 5 billion trailers this week. Um, so I just kind of had to watch about 10 of them and pick three.
The best three. The only
The
three.
best three. The only three. Well, there was actually one that I wanted to pick instead of Monkey Man, but I thought it might make you cry, Mike, so I just didn't do it.
Oh, which one's that one?
Tuesday?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Is it?
Yeah.
Will make me cry?
Yeah, it will.
Okay, I'll watch it now.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. Our first trailer for this week is another look, and maybe our final look, but knowing Netflix, probably not. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live-action adaptation. This is our longest look yet at the world we're going to be diving into next month, and I'm just oh, it's so annoying. So I really loved this show, and I'm so glad I finally watched it. And it's fucking hilarious that it took me so long to watch the animated show. And it doesn't need a live action adaptation. We've discussed this many times.
Yeah.
It's perfect as it is. But that being said, this was inevitable. They've already tried it once and failed miserably, and now we're getting another one. And I can't help but get excited for this, watching this trailer. It's sucking me in, and I don't like it. So whoever put the trailer together did a very good job, and I guess some of the people that have made this, despite the original showrunners of the Nickelodeon series leaving due to creative differences, from what we can see in this trailer, it looks pretty well adapted, including adding shit that wasn't actually in the animated series. So that's a bit of fun, because for those who've seen the animated show, we don't see this much of Ozai this early.
Yeah.
He pretty much comes in the last season, with a cameo here or there. Mark Hamill doing his thing, but in this trailer, we get such a good look at him, Daniel Day Kim, playing Fire Lord Ozai, and he looks great. They all look great. Like, they've done a really good job with the casting on this, and yeah, I'm excited to see more of the performances from these young actors. They physically look like their characters, and they seem like it was nice to see a bit of Sokka's humor coming through in this trailer, because that's one of my favorite things about the Airbender animated show is just Sokka being Sokka. And he looked pretty serious up until now, so it was nice to get to hear him, and hear him be funny on top of that. It looks great. It looks great. It really, a lot of it looks like it does kind of. I know I haven't seen One Piece the anime, but it really feels like that they've done that adaptation part well. Like, it really looks like you're watching a live action interpretation, like an accurate one. So yeah, because so many of these characters and locations and scenes that you can see being recreated have been done so well. And I even liked the little, we get the little bit of Aang, running around on the ball of air that's spinning from the opening part of the show. I thought that was really cute. So yeah, it looks great, and I don't know. I'm trying not to get my hopes up. I really don't, because if it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad, and we're all going to hate it and be very angry at Netflix. But
How dare you?
I don't know. How dare you? We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic, like an intelligent person would, but I'm struggling.
You're an intelligent person.
But yes, those are my thoughts, Mike. How goes your feels with this so far?
Yeah, as a newcomer to Avatar, it definitely has that feel. Sometimes Avatar can be extremely silly, and I haven't really seen that yet. I want to see at least one cabbage cart
Cabbage
explosion.
merchant, yeah.
Yeah, and secret tunnel. Secret tunnel. I wanna say
Secret
that.
tunnel.
But yeah, it does look like they're sort of combining like season 1 and 2, so you can actually see a lot of not just the Avatar and Aang and the bunch, but as well as Io and Rufio.
Zuko.
Rufio.
Rufy.
Rufy. Oh, because he's voiced by it. Yeah.
Yes.
So you're going to get a lot of backstory of them as well. So they're sort of doing two things at once. So I think that's probably clever. So just in case if this falls like a bag of rocks, that you can actually say, okay, one more season and it will be the last one, and it will be the entire thing. So who knows? Yeah. It looks good. Will it go extremely silly? I don't know. But they did see the I can't remember his name, but the Earth old guy who went extremely buff.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember his name either.
He was nuts and cool.
He was he was great. I hope he's just as crazy in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no. I was going to say, if J.K. Simmons did that.
That'd be
It's
funny.
like this old guy, but he's like muscle fucking bound.
Yeah.
But of course, he's probably going to be, if they ever do a Korra TV show, but done right.
Yeah, well, if this is successful, then they will definitely be making a Korra TV show at some point.
And then,
So.
if, then J.K. Simmons can reprise his role. Because it looks exactly like him, so. Anyway.
It's very true.
So when is this, hopefully not potential bag of rocks, going to be released?
So, Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live-action Netflix adaptation, will be dropping all at once on the 22nd of February.
Woo! Everything happening in 2 weeks, months.
Yep. Month and a bit.
2 weeks.
Or just, like, 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Fun times.
It's my birthday,
Okay.
birthday month. There we go.
Yeah.
Just in time for my birthday.
What a birthday month for you. Speaking of what's coming next, our second trailer this week is for another TV series that we love, and that is our first look at the final season, the third and final season of The Bad Batch.
Woo!
Woo! Yes. Man, I'm gonna miss this show. I'm so sad it's ending.
I'm happy that they're actually calling it quits when it's like good.
Yeah, go out on a high. Don't overstay your welcome. That whole thing. Yeah,
3 series
I
is
respect
good.
that.
Is good enough.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I respect that, especially the way big companies like Disney have been treating their IPs over the last year or two. Probably smart, but yeah, this was a great trailer. We got a little bit of a scene to begin with that didn't drag on too long, and then the trailer became a proper trailer, and we got a really good taste of what's to come, and a reminder of poor Tech. So sad. That was emotional, and and then I'd completely forgotten that Omega got taken by the Empire, but that's my brain.
You were still recovering from Tech.
I think so. I think
Same
all I
episode.
could think about was Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happened at the same time. So the mission, I suppose, is going to be getting Omega away from the Emperor and the other Imperial soldiers and all of that. And we got another shot of what's his bloody name? Crosshair.
Crosshairs, yeah.
Looking really sad, which gave me some feels.
He's in his redemption area.
He is. He is. He's gonna have his full circle moment,
Mm.
this season, and it's gonna be fucking incredible. If any of his episodes, his storyline in season 2 is anything to go by, they're gonna fucking stick that landing, and it's gonna be great. I can't wait for that. Yeah, and then obviously it's just there's lots of characters returning. We see a glimpse of Fennec Shand in here. Rex is back, of course. And yeah, and as someone who hasn't seen Clone Wars or Rebels, because I don't actually know which show this character is from, but
Clone Wars.
the internet fucking broke. The Star Wars portion of the internet broke when it was revealed that Asajj Ventress is going to be in this season.
Whoa! What?
Yeah, what?
Dooku's apprentice, who's supposed to be dead.
Yeah, that's because is she? I'm guessing she's Clone Wars, not Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, that would make sense because this is a sequel series to Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's alright. The Bad Batch are dead in the Rebels timeline.
Yeah. Yeah. 'cause that's
Maybe
later.
I don't know.
Maybe we don't know. That's true.
Well, this is
That's
the last
very
episode, last season.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know.
Could be a Rogue One situation.
Mm.
But no, it looks great. It looks
Yes.
great. It looks intense. It looks epic, and I'm sad and excited at the same time for the ending of the Bad Batch. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. Mike, what did you make of this trailer?
I'm sad that it's the last season, but it's really looking forward to it because it sticks the landing on most episodes. Like there's not really many that where didn't like that one. Just alright. We'll wait until next week. Yeah, it still has that feel for Clone Wars, and it's just that Clone Wars itch that we all really love, and it's definitely dealing with more clone stuff. So hopefully they'll set up a lot of stuff for the Mandoverse as well, especially with the Emperor coming in.
Yep.
McDermott
Yep.
doing his man thing.
Doing his man thing.
Yeah, he's the Emperor.
He's the Emperor.
He's doing his voice.
Somehow he returned.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're going to be dealing with somehow Palpatine returned. This is probably his contingency while he's around. He's setting up his Snokes. Maybe. We don't know. And it's kind of cool. I only watch bits and pieces of Clone Wars, so I don't know much about her Dooku's apprentice.
Yes.
I just know of the Emperor crack the shits because then that means that you can only have like with Siths, you can only have a master and apprentice, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so Dooku had to get rid of her, and so she fell. She's a Night Sister.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, from that planet, same as Maul, and
Okay.
yeah. So she fell from the Siths, and that's why she has a yellow lightsaber, because she sort of dabbles in between. And the last thing that we've heard is she was written in one of the novels, and apparently she died in that. So timelines are going to be weird. Either they're going to do that storyline, or they're going to say, "Oh, she's not really dead. She escaped somehow or something." I don't know. Star Wars lore that I haven't really dived into. I just know offhand because I watched a guy talking about it on YouTube.
Ah.
So yeah, it's like one of those like Kath Bane sort of scenarios. It's like a niche amount of people love it, and then it's up to us to say, okay, we enjoy this interpretation, this new adaptation.
This new, yes.
So
Yes.
this has a weird release date.
Yeah, it's releasing over a period of time. That's strange. I only wrote down the first few episodes, so just bear with me a moment and I'll read them the whole out because they put the whole schedule up for when it's going to be releasing. But season 3 will start on the 21st of February. The first 3 episodes are going to be dropped all at once. And then it's going to be not sort of weekly, but not weekly after that. We're going to get one episode, another episode, and then after that we get a two-parter, and then again, another two-parter, again, and then the finale will conveniently come out just before May the 4th, on the 1st of May, the series finale. So
if we're dealing with synergy, does that mean at the end of this season there's going to be a big reveal?
Maybe.
And then all of a sudden there's a live action Bad Batch movie.
No, we don't.
Nah, probably not. But I don't know. I think it's something special is going to be dropped, and then May the 4th celebrations will say, "Hey, we still got stuff to do. We've got the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, and the Ray series."
Yeah. The Ray movie
coming back, and also Ahsoka 2, Electric Boogaloo. Oh, yeah. I heard someone do a theory on the Skeleton Crew, because the synopsis of that is kids go into space and they get lost in space, to a different to a different universe. They said. What did Ahsoka do?
What did she do, Mike?
She went to a different universe.
She did go to a different universe.
Is it all connected? I think I need to set up my my Pepe Sylvia board. I don't have murder boards anymore. It's like Pepe Sylvia, everything's Pepe Sylvia. Yeah, everything's connected. Star Wars is not dead anymore.
Star Wars isn't dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
So cool. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Indeed. Yes. Cool. All right. We got one more trailer to talk about.
Sweet beans.
Switching gears completely. This is a trailer for a movie called Monkey Man. Yes, and I'll say off the bat, I'm probably not going to watch this movie, only because it's not my type of film. It's very much a John Wick action thriller, revenge thriller. And that's fine. You know, a lot of people love those, and I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum.
Hi, yum.
Hi, yum. But the really cool thing about this one is that it stars Dev Patel.
Yeah.
As the in the lead, he's the one doing all the kick-ass fighting and shooting and shit.
Going ape shit.
And going ape shit, if you will.
Yeah. Ape's an ape and monkey's a monkey.
Yes, they're different. Yes. But he's also making his directorial debut with this movie. He's directing this as well as starring in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hats off to him for that, because the movie does look very visually interesting. Certain shots in this trailer were really, really cool. The way the lighting was used and things of that nature, I really appreciated. And it's also produced by Jordan Peele. So another good name to add to the roster here with this one. But yeah, I guess I do like the fact that it's part of this seems to be lifted from from Indian myths and mythology and all of that. So I think that's really, really cool. We might learn something about Indian culture with this movie while we're watching people get killed.
Beat the shit out of
Yeah, so I think that's really, really cool. I like that. The fact that it's set in India and it has that backdrop to it, and yeah, and it just looks badass. It was probably a pretty long trailer. It probably didn't need to be this long because it showed a lot. But no, Dev Patel, I'm a fan of his. Have been since Slumdog Millionaire back in the day, and it's really good to see. He just keeps making really interesting choices with his career, and I respect that quite a bit. So I hope the movie is a success for him. That would be nice. Mike, what did you make of this one?
It looks really cool. I kind of know. It's like dopamine. Give it to me. Yeah. I'm a sucker for these sort of stuff. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just it like rags to riches sort of thing. Like it deals with a lot of issues that we all do, and it's the way of life. It's always the class system, and this guy has had enough, and he's putting monkey face on and casting and kicking ass. Love it. I love it. And even watching this on the on my phone, the cinematography is so good. It's like the choreography of the fight scenes, as well as the car chase scene with the little buggy. I lost my shit. I was like, oh, that is so cool. I've never seen it, and I want it. This is the sort of shit that I'm really looking forward to. Like with newer stuff. Like there's more anticipation than Deadpool. At least with Deadpool, I know what I'm going to get. I'm going to enjoy the nostalgia shit out of it. But come on. A guy in a monkey suit is going MMA with another guy and just going ape shit. I don't know. I'm male. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize for that. That's fine.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and yeah, I think it was in Limbo Hell, and Jordan Peele said, and it was going to be on streaming and shit. It's like no, Jordan Peele grabbed it and you know what? This is so good. It needs to be on. It needs to be in cinema. So
needs to be in cinema.
And we got to watch it. So when are we going to be watching this and talking about it on the stream, Kendall? Both of us, you gotta watch it too. Thank you. Thank you. If it's not your bread and
butter, Clockwork Orange style. We don't have an Australian.
Don't do that to Mozart. A lot of people say I look like him.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
When I was younger, of course, I grew into my face, but when I was more baby face, I was like, you look like that guy.
Yeah.
You killed Captain Kirk.
Yes. Cool. Monkey Man doesn't have a release date in Australia just yet, but in the States it is going to be coming out on the 5th of April. Yeah.
Hopefully Star Cinema will get it. That's the local art house. It's the only way I can actually watch the holdovers, because it's not going to Village. It sucks.
Oh,
but I have to wait until me and Sammy aren't working, so because it's only at 1:00.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, but I do it for this movie. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Trailer Park done. We're rolling out. Which means now...
let's do it.
It's time for some wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Talking who? Talking who? And I got my little Lego TARDIS.
Hey, Lego TARDIS. Love it.
Yeah, my little future Doctor you haven't seen yet. Come on. Focus, damn you.
Is that... Oh, that's... I
don't know. Visual.
The 12th Doctor.
Visual comedy.
The 12th Doctor. Hey. Peter Capaldi.
There's his angry eyebrows.
And he's got his sonic screwdriver too. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, let's get to it. It's time to talk Who in popcorn culture. I am watching Doctor Who, Doctor Who for the first time all the way through. And Mike is obviously a seasoned veteran. So we're going to be discussing from both points of view. And And yeah, we're up to season 5, episode 3, and then we're also going to do episode 4 and 5, the two-parter. Episode 3 is Victory of the Daleks. And yeah, I don't understand why this one has such a low rating on IMDb. Because I enjoyed it.
One particular aspect is probably the reason for that.
Okay, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
I guess. Yes. So yeah, it's a cool period time travel. You know, we're not going to space. We're on Earth. It's in the middle of World War II during the London Blitz, and Winston Churchill is called for the Doctor.
A month ago.
You know, a month ago, and again he's shown up late when things aren't as dire. But however, better late than never, because Winston Churchill has Daleks working for him. And, you know, of course, the Doctor is immediately sus on this. Like, what's going on here? These are evil aliens. They're going to kill everyone. They have an agenda. How is this a thing? So, yeah, I really liked that mystery unraveling and unfolding as the episode went along. And I loved... one thing I really love about the Doctor is that no matter what, he doesn't give up. He just keeps persisting. When everything's against him, when everyone's against him, he knows he's right, and he will do whatever it takes, generally, to see, you know, that he wins. And yeah, I really liked, the way he just kind of, you know, was trying to convince them all that no, the Daleks are real. They're gonna kill you all, and they're not your I can't remember what they were called. Iron something. Ironsides, yeah, very, very interesting. But I will give the show props in the fact that I did believe for half a second that the Daleks weren't going to reveal their true selves. I almost bought into it, like almost, and then the reveal happened that they were just waiting for the Doctor to say the magic words, before they revealed themselves. So so I thought that was really good. I do want to ask you though one thing, and I don't want to. I'm only going to rush through this a bit because we've got 3 episodes to talk about and it's late. But
that's all right. We can combine the two-parter, really.
Yeah. But the Daleks plan. I don't know. I think maybe it's the only criticism I have of the episode is probably the fact that we've kind of seen this before. Maybe with the Daleks trying to create like the ultimate master versions of themselves, or trying to resurrect themselves in a new way. Like, we've seen that before, and I think it was done better in that two-parter maybe, because these Daleks that they brought about, I liked, you know, how they had their voices were a bit creepier and darker and whatnot, but the design of them I didn't care for much. The bright colors were an interesting aesthetic choice. I mean, more power to you, that's fine. One of them was even like a TARDIS blue color, and I was like, that's a bit on the nose. And then they were fat. Like, I don't want to body shame a Dalek, but they were big. Like, they were.
Are you fat shaming a Dalek?
But they were like, I didn't like it was. I as someone who is, you know, a new fan, I definitely started showing some gatekeeping, and I was like, no, I prefer the older ones. You know, the bronze and silver and battle worn Daleks. You know, those kind of classic ones. I think I like them a bit more. But obviously we're going to see these ones again. What is your take on the story of this episode and the kind of the repeat of the theme of the Daleks trying to come back again?
Yeah. Well, this story is written by Mark Gatiss.
Yes.
Collaborator with Stephen Moffat, who's also done other Doctor Who episodes, as well as written novels as well, like before the revival. So no slouch when it comes to Doctor Who. and works with like Stephen Moffat with like or his other stuff like
Sherlock.
and Dracula.
The Dracula one, yeah.
Dracula with an iPad one. Yeah, watch the first episode and just leave it at that. He was asked to do this because two things they want. Period historical Doctor Who with Daleks, and they want to revamp the Daleks for a new generation because this was because new showrunner, new Doctor, new way of doing things. Like everything was slightly different compared to Russell T Davis's era of the Doctor. So they wanted to do, why don't we revamp like the Daleks? I mean, they sort of do the same thing with a future villain, but we haven't watched that yet, and I won't spoil it here. But it was a good updated one. The consensus with the new design of these Daleks overall, including me, you are on the money, Kendall. No one liked it.
Good. I feel validated now.
It's all right.
Vindicated.
Yeah, vindicated, validated. Validate my parking. Yeah, no one particularly liked. They liked the aesthetic because those Dalek for Victory posters are everywhere. Everyone wanted one. Even I've got a poster of the blueprints of the Dalek from this episode because it was great. And and if we're going to talk about historical accuracy, I mean, Doctor Who just passes that away because a lot of people saying, no, this is not like the real Winston Churchill. This is a cartoonish version of Winston Churchill, which I don't mind because if you want historical accuracy, you watch a fucking documentary. You don't watch Doctor Who. Yeah,
yes.
101. Yeah. And Isaac Newton wasn't a brown man. Shut up. It's now Mavity. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
deal with it.
I'm still not sure about that. But anyway. The Mavity of the situation. And and the plan of the Daleks to do this do not make sense. And just to say, okay, we're getting new Daleks in. Yeah, and no one particularly liked it because they were huge. The set they were on did not accommodate for that as well. They were basically touching the roof to make them intimidating. There's a lot of funny nicknames for it, like the pastel Daleks, because of all the different colors. Because it's harking back to the 1960s Peter Cushing era, where they're all like particular colors, but they look like Power Rangers or being more British, Teletubbies. And the criticism was swift and quick. And be assured, Kendall, they don't really turn up again.
Okay.
I will spoil that.
Wow.
If you're expecting them to come back, don't you worry your head. They don't really come back. I say don't. Right. I say don't really. Fleeting. But they still stick to like the traditional Daleks, which is a shame because I don't know. Well, you've seen latest Doctor Who; they've sort of dabbled with trying to get newer versions of what they have. It's just because there are different sort of types of Daleks as well with the classic series, like very new, very minute like differences and that, but essentially it's all the same. And yeah. So that's my sort of overall arc. Is like, yeah, it's not a bad episode. I much prefer it from the previous one because, you know, they're having fun with history, and I always enjoy Doctor Who having fun with history.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunately, out of all the new Daleks stories, this is not really a good one. Unfortunately, they're just there for the sole reason to say, "Hey, we're getting new Daleks," and no one liked it, so that's why it's sort of very low on the score of
On the rating.
Yeah.
Yeah, me. Like it kind of. Yeah, I can appreciate them trying something new and something different, and you know the Daleks are obviously the go-to classic Doctor Who villain. So I can appreciate them giving the Daleks another go here, because they're menacing and but yeah, I compared to all the other Dalek episodes I've seen so far, unfortunately this would be the bottom of the list for sure. But I did enjoy it otherwise. Like I enjoyed campy Winston Churchill. He was a bit of a laugh. I liked his banter with the Doctor, his banter with Amy. It was all very good. My favorite element of this episode, though, I have to say, is Bracewell. Bill Patterson. Love that man. He's a very talented actor. And I enjoyed his performance here so well. That was a good twist I didn't see coming. The fact that, there's a couple of twists. Bracewell, he's not human. He's created by the Daleks, but he thinks he's human because, they gave him a life, basically.
They gave him
so
memories.
so he could blend in. And then he ends up being a fucking bomb, essentially, at the end of the episode. And the Doctor's hand is forced, and he has to choose between stopping the Daleks from getting away and defeating them once more, or saving the Earth, because they're about to destroy the Earth, of course. And yeah, he chooses the Earth and doesn't get to stop the Daleks in time. But I really liked Bracewell. I thought he was great. I loved the whole Scottish connection with Amy, and him. I thought that was fun, and his performance was really great, especially in the best scene of the whole episode was when he's about to explode, and the Doctor, like both the Doctor and Amy, did such a good job of talking him down and getting the whole thing figured out, like saving the day. Like the fact that it was done by talking and not through fighting, or the Doctor couldn't use his sonic to save the day. It was we have to talk to this thing and pretend like talk to it as if it's real. It's real. It's a human. You think you're human, so therefore, if you're human, then you can't be a or whatever it was called, the bomb thing that was inside it. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really cool, and the way the Doctor was talking and convincing him, and then it didn't work. But then for Amy to step in, and this could probably link to what I'm going to talk about later to do with Amy, but Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing that I don't like. But no, her just coming out and just saying like, have you ever, you know that feeling you get when you have feelings for someone and it's not reciprocated and all of this, and then she gets him to tell this brief little story about this woman that he remembers even though she doesn't exist. This woman that he loved and adored, and I just thought that was so nice in the way Bill Patterson performed that, reacting to what was happening, and you could see like the way his face changed and his eyes, and that was the story that made tricked the bomb into not going off, and the Daleks to be pissed. So yeah, I really loved that scene. I thought that was really nice, along with the scene at the end where they tell him in a roundabout way that we're not going to deactivate you. You can go and live your life. That by saying we just need like 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. 20 minutes actually. Might need 20 minutes. I thought that was that whole thing. I thought that was lovely. So yeah, that was my favorite bit of the episode.
Yeah.
That made it enjoyable for me. Yeah. Did you like Bracewell, Mike?
I did, and I really enjoyed this sort of aspect, and it sort of is the style of Moffat as well. Like the whimsical is like coming in. Some people really do enjoy it. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a bit sappy" because they won through the power of love. That's the power of love. It works. Yeah.
It works.
And yeah, just the doctor letting him go. So the guy Bracewell like running around. Does he age? Maybe not. We don't know. He could be around. Actually, that's a spoiler. If he does turn up or not.
I'm sure a character like him, they'd find a way to bring him back at some point.
Yeah. They haven't so far, so there's a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
One and done. That's right. He's very expensive, the man.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for a good one episode and done. Yeah, the convincing that you can go now. You can go. Went on a little bit too long. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fair criticism. It was probably too long.
It's
Yeah.
like, we get it. We get it.
You get it.
It's
You're
for
not
the
gonna
children.
kill
It's like, I'm sure they get it too. Anyway. But is this really for children? Anyway. Yeah, so overall, that was... it is more enjoyable than most episodes that deal with like meaningless plots, but that's Doctor Who. That's the bag that you get given when it comes to Doctor Who. And yeah, and the rewatch value is pretty good, except for the Daleks. But the stuff in the bunker is always good.
Yeah, all the bunker stuff is great. The character work that they do.
Yeah, some of the big some of the big criticisms. It's like, well, Churchill nowadays is sort of a polarizing figure because of his own history. I mean, he led Britain out of World War II, but that's not the only thing he's done. Just don't type in Winston Churchill and famine if you don't want to get rocked. Anyway.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
He sort of had the same ideas as Hitler, but a different way of going about it.
Joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 40s.
Man, he's an old man, even from the 40s. So.
Yeah, true. He was born well in the 1800s. So,
he was born when Britain was an empire. So there you go.
That's enough said.
Yeah. So there you go. So anyway,
there you go. Yeah. So I don't
speaking
really have
of
anything else
history
to add.
and archaeology.
Yes, a nice segue there, Michael. Thank
There we
you.
go.
There we go. So now episode 4 and 5, they're a two-parter. So we have Time of the Angels and Flesh and don't. I love a good two-parter, especially the Doctor Who ones. They're always enjoyable, always high stakes, and we talk about the Daleks being a great villain for the Doctor. We return for the first time in the New Who to the Weeping Angels.
Yep.
In this two-parter, and do something a little different with them.
Build the lore.
I have questions. But no, I really enjoyed this two-parter. I thought they were great. Obviously, as well, we returned to River Song. Good to see Alex Kingston return. She's just fantastic. She had such a great opener at the start of episode 4. I thought that was badass. I'm like, give her James Bond. Like, Jesus. I thought she was very cool, and that shot of her, flinging herself out into space so the Doctor would catch her, was very cool. And I was going to start criticizing Amy, but we'll talk about that later. I don't want to talk about that yet.
There's a lot to criticize, but
yes,
let's save it.
Yeah,
It's there. We'll criticism.
We will have an Amy Pond discussion at the end of this. But no, yeah. So it's cool that we get to see River Song again, and basically that she's with this team that are uncovering a shipwreck, and there's a weeping angel inside, and for some reason they think it's a good idea to go in there after it. I mean, I don't see it in what reality that's a good thing. You just leave it where it is. Don't touch it. Don't go near it. Don't open anything. Just stay away. Fucking idiots. Yeah. We wouldn't have a show then, would we?
Hey.
Yes.
Now you think as a Doctor Who writer.
Yeah.
What's stupid? Jump into it.
So, one of the best scenes in this two-parter, I think, for my money, was actually the first confrontation we had with this angel, where the military people who are actually like bishops and ministers and things. I love when, it's because it's set in the future. This episode, we're on a different planet. I love how you can make a leap that religion has evolved to the point of being militaristic. Like, why not?
Is it really a jump?
You can. Is it really?
Salvation Army.
It's not a. It's not a big jump. So I think that's really cool.
Good Christian soldiers marching off to war.
Yeah. I thought that was fun. But especially cuz one of the the main dude was played by fucking Sajora.
Yeah, the father.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Game of Thrones and Family of Dragons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, all in one. All of the rings. Anyway, I like Ian Glenn, is what I'm saying. He's very good. But no, this scene, I really loved it. How it's like it's a misdirect. They're setting up this thing of like, okay, the Doctor's working with River, and they're working with the military to get into this labyrinth of the dead, basically, so they can find the weeping angel, and they're working on that and whatnot, and you get this whole thing of Amy being like, and does anyone need me over here? No, anyone? Okay, I'll just be inside this caravan of sorts with the weeping angel on the TV, the security footage, and then the rug gets pulled out from under you, and it turns out she's fucking up shit creek. I loved this. I thought this was really cool, a really interesting way to expand the lore of the Weeping Angels, I guess, to because River has this book that talks about them, and there's that line that says like, whatever holds the image of an angel becomes an angel.
Yeah. Reason why there's no pictures of the angels in that particular book.
Yeah, because they make a point to say like there's no pictures of what they actually look like or whatever. I thought that was fucking brilliant, because it just all of a sudden you're like, Oh, Amy's gonna die. like the tension, the
Stakes.
way they
Stakes.
yes, stakes. They built it so wonderfully, and I really loved that whole sequence of it. Just and they did it so like gradually of like her coming in, noticing it had moved, and then she puts it together. The Doctor and River put it together at the same time, and then
Yeah.
shit gets real. Yeah, I fucking loved it. And then how that ended up coming back in the second episode. Because obviously you see throughout the rest of the first episode that it's clearly still affecting her. But I loved how they kind of like that was my like say what you will about Amy and certain decisions she makes in this episode. Well, at the end of the two-parter, if you will, but I like what they did with her in terms of the Weeping Angel stuff. I thought was really really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of this addition to the lore, Mike?
Yeah. Because Stephen Moffat, as his original idea was the Weeping Angel, so I thought, why not bring back something that I wrote before and expand upon it? It's like no fault against him to do that. It's and it makes it more interesting. But we've sort of seen this happen with Jodie Whittaker in the Flux Weeping Angels things, where the angels were coming out of the TV, sort of harking back to that. Where this particular episode, and this is where the lore is, and this is what was I going to say? I can't remember. But yeah, I really this is when a lot of people like started to really enjoy the Weeping Angels aspect, because they started to be like the new villain for Doctor Who. Like everyone knew Daleks, Cybermen, and now the Weeping Angels, especially for New Who. Like no other like New Who villain has sort of come back to be like within that rogues gallery of Doctor Who villains. And it was great to see them back in the Jodie Whittaker ones. I mean, one of people's favorite like ones is that Flux episode with the Weeping Angels. River Song, glad back. Another invention of Moffat as well, from the Silent Library, where we see her death. So we're working backwards. Such an interesting character. And we are going to see maybe more of her, especially because she's such an interesting character. She's a character that involves the Doctor's future as well as past. So we don't know where they sort of meet in the middle, and they do with Big Finish. They have like episodes where she meets classic Who Doctors as well, which is really cool and interesting because you can like more stories. Need them more.
More.
And yeah, it was this episode that we find out that River Song is the Doctor's wife in the future.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't really expand because I might spoil it. But
yeah, no,
that's
I
an
appreciate
interesting
that.
take. We do. No, I'll wait because it's one of my favorite episodes from a future Doctor Who episode.
Nice.
Where we get to see the second last story with River Song before the library.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the story that she tells David Tennant's Doctor before, like the last time we met, you were different. So yeah.
Okay.
So, but we'll get to it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I remember after I watched Silence in the Library, and the other episode that follows it, that two-parter. Yeah, and being introduced to River Song that way, like I just love when time travel shows lean the fuck in to time travel,
Yeah.
and the fact that you have a character that's we're meeting her for the first time, the Doctor's meeting her for the first time because we're obviously in the Doctor's point of view, but from where she's standing, it's the millionth time they've met each other. And in the case of Silence in the Library, it was the last
It was
time,
the
as you
last
said.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that. It's such a cool way to tell a story, and to unravel like a mystery because there's that whole thing in this episode where we find out there's little hints being dropped where Ian Glenn's character is like he doesn't know what you did, he doesn't know who you really are, he shouldn't trust you, like this whole thing that they keep teasing and whatnot. And then we find out that she's been imprisoned because she killed someone. And we see Ian Glenn's character again tell the Doctor, oh, she killed somebody really good, like she killed a good guy. And part of you goes, oh, he's just saying that to stir tension, and because he clearly has a problem with her, and but it's obviously because she's done this thing, I guess. But he's kind of the devil's advocate character.
Well, he's a priest. He never lies.
Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of thinking, oh, maybe it's going to go the other way, and then when you get to the end of the episode, and the Doctor asks her straight up, like, he told me you killed someone, and that he was a good guy, and she goes, yeah, he was the best person I ever knew, or whatever she says. And I was just like, oh fuck, I wonder if we're gonna find out who it is. I'm sure we are, because I feel like this is like a Chekhov's gun thing. I'm like, they're not just gonna, especially knowing Stephen Moffat, they're not gonna just drop this and just be like, oh, we'll just never come back to it. But I could be wrong. It's a time travel show.
At last, I can say the line, "Spoilers, sweetie."
Yes, spoilers, sweetie.
Because
she's great.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
I know.
You know.
It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, so I'm enjoying unraveling this River Song mystery as we go through. And then we had that whole other thing where as I mentioned earlier, like Amy's still being affected by the weeping angel that was in the TV because it went inside of her.
Yeah. The image of her is in the back of her eye.
Yeah. It's like the memory. I think they say it's the memory of the thing because she was staring at it for so long.
Yeah.
It helped it to, transfer or whatever.
Couldn't blink.
Which I kind of liked. I mostly liked it. I didn't like it as much as it just being a thing that can come out of the TV. I thought that was really cool. But but I think they expanded further, and I can appreciate that. But I didn't like it as much. But it made for some good tension. With like Amy, she can't open her eyes, or she'll die, kind of thing. That was interesting. And then, of course, we have the whole the crack in time reappears, and we get some acknowledgement from them. It comes part of the plot, this whole thing, because like one of the things we didn't mention from the previous episode is there was that offhand sort of thing of Amy doesn't know what Daleks are, and she should, because of the world we live in, that everyone knows what Daleks are because of they've been out in the open invading Earth. So I like that as well. And
it's
we're
also
clearly, building. Go on.
Yeah, it's also a good writing ploy when you're a new showrunner and you want to reset the entire universe. And they do name drop the giant Cyberman walking through Victorian London. No one remembers that.
Yep.
No one remembers all the planets in the sky and everything because of the cracks. So it's a good it's a good clean slate that you can give yourself. Otherwise, you have to remember everything that fucking happened. So
it works.
Yeah.
It works. I can work around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so and I kind of liked that whole with the Weeping Angels. Two other things was, the twist of, most of the statues in that catacomb actually being Weeping Angels, and they were like deformed because of they've been
Corrosion.
dormant for they've eroded away. I thought that was really clever and intense. And yeah, and then how obviously the crack in the two universes in time or whatever it is was the thing that helped them save the day overall. Because the whole thing with Amy having the Dalek in her head, and I loved how
Weeping
the doctor
Angel.
was like, yeah, sorry, Dalek, Weeping Angel, fuck.
That's
Getting
all right.
my wires crossing the streams. Yes, the Weeping Angel in her head, and he's like, well, because technically now that Weeping Angel never existed, that's why you don't remember it. But she's like, yeah, I do. And then he's like, well, but you traveled through time, so now you perceive time differently, so you're going to remember it. I'm like, that's just so fucking cool.
You're not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Yeah, like it's so sci-fi and it's so cool. The one thing I wanted to ask you, Mike, though,
Sure.
that I was curious on, because as we've seen before, Weeping Angels, they kill you by taking your time away, basically. They take you out of your current timeline, throw you back somewhere else, and feed off of your lost time, and essentially killing you slowly, I suppose.
Yeah.
In this episode, that doesn't happen.
No.
The Weeping Angels kill some of these military soldiers by snapping their necks. And then we get to hear, the disembodied voices of the dead speaking through them, translating for them, which I kind of thought was really creepy and really effective. But is this a thing that's just like, oh, they can just do that? They don't have to,
Yeah.
they don't have to live off your time. They can just kill you straight up, and it's fine. Or is does this break the law a bit, or is it like they can do whatever they want, or they'll explain it later, or because the doctor mentions at one point, he makes a point to go, this isn't how they usually operate.
Yeah, I think this.
So I'm curious.
Yeah, I think this is set up for the reveal of the crack because they can feed off that, so and it tastes better than simple little humans and their timeline and their time stream.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just for this episode. I can't remember if. Spoiler alert: they do come back. Not these particular ones, but they are running around the universe. They do come back and they do the same thing. So I think it's just for this particular episode, and it's also just a gross little mind image of Bob, Sacred Bob, getting his head snapped. And and using his head to speak through the intercom. It's like, yeah, that's gross. We don't need to see it because you gave us the visual. Thanks, Moffat. You gross piece of crap. He needs to do more horror. I like that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. He
so
should.
probably the answer, I think it's just for this particular episode because they found something more chewy and yummy. Why have the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Absolutely.
Speaking of weddings, or is it a bit close for that?
Well, I think we can get into it because unless you have anything else that I haven't touched on yet, really.
No. I think that's it. Well, we could talk. Yes, one particular thing. There is a particular scene in this in the second episode that does come back around in the future episodes. And I saw it, and I thought, yeah, they filmed this well. It's. How did you feel about the Doctor and the Amy relationship in this particular episode? Before, the sexual assault.
Before the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh. How did I feel about it? I mean, fine. I think. Like, I'm trying to think of anything that jumped out at me. Like, she's still, to me, Amy's just still very new companion. Like, she's very fresh to this whole thing. They have a good rapport with each other. They clearly care about each other on some level, some more than others. But no, I can't think of anything unless I've forgotten something, which
No.
but I don't think there's anything in this episode that stands out that I didn't particularly like. Like, there was still a bit more of the Doctor being very aggressive and like
being
rah.
very yelly and screamy.
Yeah, that I'm still kind of getting used to because David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston did do that, but Russell T Davies obviously didn't write him that angry, and Moffat is just like, he's got a lot of rage, this one. And I'm like, okay. I'm curious to see if there's a reason for that, or if it's just this is their version of the Doctor and he's a little bit more almost not Time Lord Victorious level, but he's got some angst going on. But no, I didn't really bump up against like how I did during The Beast Below. That was a bit more worse for me. Why do you ask?
Well, one, setting up something, and two, that scene where Amy is surrounded by the clergyman with guns, and the Doctor says, "Just wait here. I need to do something else." As like, just wait here, and Amy's still not too sure because they've got her eyes closed and she's absolutely completely vulnerable. But the Doctor comes back and holds her hand and just pretty much on a different tact, like, you need to trust me. The most important thing that you need to do is trust me. How do you feel about that scene?
Yeah, no, I thought it was fine. Like, it kind of spoke to a bit more of the compassionate side of the Doctor that we've seen over the years. It did feel maybe, I don't know if it's maybe a bit soon for the two of them to be having that kind of connection, maybe, especially because he went from like, I don't know, he's very all over the shop in terms of his relationship with her, I think. The way he like he cares, and then he's apathetic, and then he's angry, and then he's having a laugh, and then he's very fucking all over the place.
He's neurodivergent coded like to fuck. But
100%.
Because remember, this is the same time where Stephen Moffat was writing Sherlock as well.
Yeah, he's very Sherlock. Yeah, he's very fucking Sherlock. The streams are definitely crossing. But no, it was very interesting. It was just, it felt a little, I won't lie and say, I think it did feel a little out of place. Because it just felt a little, especially when he kissed her on the forehead too. I was like, okay, sure. Yeah. I'm not mad, but I'm just like, I don't know.
That's all right. Spoilers, sweetie.
Spoilers for me.
Yeah.
Does the Doctor know something we don't know?
Do I know something that you don't know? Well, clearly, but it's very interesting because I am remembering stuff like that's going to happen in the future, and I'm just remembering stuff, which is kind of fun for me, because I get to introduce something new. Now I am the teacher. Some of the criticisms that people have with Matt Smith's tenure of the Doctor is, it is a lot like Sherlock, where where he says he's great, I'm smart. It's like, aren't I great? And people falling over. It's like, yeah, you're great, you're cool, you're smart. It's like, okay. It's a very interesting take for the Doctor, because I particularly like that particular Doctor of being smarmy and asshole-y and not getting visual and not getting social cues as well. So let's dive into the reason why I have a problem with Amy.
Yes. Well. Yeah. Look, it's something we've discussed on the podcast many times through my watch of the show, and we touched on it last week, and I called myself out for liking 13 and Yaz and not liking any of the other Doctor companion ships.
As I said,
Feckle.
not knowing. It's
Not
it's
knowing.
fine.
Yeah, not knowing, because I watched it all out of order, like a time traveler. But
You're a River Swan.
I'm
Song.
River Song.
Swan.
Swan. So, but we've sort of had these little hints that Amy is attracted to the Doctor. Ogling him in the first episode while he's getting changed, and then we talked about in Victory of the Daleks, where she's talking about an unreciprocated thing, and it's so obvious it's about the Doctor, and that even catches the Doctor off guard, because the way he reacts, he kind of makes it a little, oh, okay, in his own little way, and then we get a bit more of it here when River Song is introduced, and we see the way the two of them are interacting, especially the way River is acting towards the Doctor.
Yeah.
And that is where shit kind of starts to, I don't like. I will say. And I remember you talking about it and being like, this is horny Doctor Who stuff. That's just a bit much. Because I didn't really care for, like, I kind of like the playful flirtiness between River and the Doctor, like from River's perspective. Like, Alex Kingston's clearly having fun. Some of it is a little bit uncomfortable because the Doctor hasn't gotten there yet and she has, and it's all a bit, ugh. Lines of consent are blurry.
Yeah.
But speaking of consent, we went from fucking 0 to 100 real damn fast, because the other underlying plot thread that's been going since the beginning is that Amy's running away from her life. She's running away from Rory, maybe, or she's running away from the life she maybe doesn't want for herself. She's about to get married to him. She clearly cares for him, because we see, when she gets all defensive about, like, yes, the other one, and, she's all, like, she has a little giggle and a laugh about him. Like, you can tell that she loves him, or at least, cares for him on some level. But then in that scene at the end of episode 2, like episode 5, it goes immediately into, from that to, light bulb moment, I know why I'm running. It's because I want you, Doctor. And then she starts being all innuendo-y and slinking around him and all this stuff, and it just felt off to me. I didn't like it, especially when she tries to kiss him on the bed, and he's like, oh, no, and he's like, fine, like, he handles it well, like, he's not repulsed by her, he doesn't call her any derogatory names or use any bad language with her. Obviously it's a family show, it's Doctor Who, but he doesn't do anything untoward in response, and he reacts as only the Doctor would react to that. But then Amy decides to persist, and she kisses him, and he's all like, like, what the fuck, and still going into all his thing, and then that's when he clicks, and it's like, oh, it's this whole thing is to do with you, let's go, and that's the end of the episode. And yeah, I like Amy, and I want to like Amy, but then she does something like this, and I don't know, and like, all I know going into this is like what the internet has told me about Amy and Rory, and how they're these two great companions, and I know bits and bobs of their storyline, and Rory just seems sweet and wonderful, and I feel like Amy's just not great, because she's cheating on her fiance with the Doctor, running away with a man she barely knows. I don't know. I'm curious to for your thoughts, Mike, and to maybe, jump in the TARDIS and see how the internet reacted to this when this happened. But yeah,
It was sort
not
of
for me.
in two camps because I think you need to be like a certain mindset at a certain age.
Yeah, yeah.
Like as I said, this is when Tumblr was going gangbusters. So, and
Yes.
this was like 2010, where the concept of the Me Too movement was like far from like a blind eye, and like subtleties that we deal with. Like originally, Stephen Moffat was doing like sitcom, like sort of raunchy comedy sort of stuff. So it's sort of within his wheelhouse to do this sort of stuff. And yeah, it's sort of like the mindset back then. It's like, well, it's okay because she's a woman. Like, wouldn't it be great if a woman like puts advantages on a guy? That's everyone's fantasy, isn't it? Surely, you don't want to be labeled as gay, or like it is of its time, and unfortunately, it is like almost 15 years ago. But it's yeah, like the mindset is different, and when you're like a young adult, it's like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. And it's like the Doctor, it's the TARDIS is going to be a don't come and knocking when the TARDIS is rocking, you know. First time we've seen like David Tennant like get a snog every now and again, so let's up the ante. And this time it's yeah, like I don't blame people who actually enjoy Rory and Amy. Like time has passed, and my feelings have sort of galvanized of not liking this at all. Because I didn't like it because the Doctor, the way I thought the Doctor was, he is an alien. He's quintessentially neutral sexual, like
asexual.
Yeah, and I still have a problem with the Doctor like having a relationship with a human, because it's like someone falling in love with a mountain. That mountain's still going to be there after they die. So
Well, and exactly to your point, the Doctor even says to her, "I'm over 900 years old. What are you doing?" Like, no, you can't do this. It's interesting too because I was just thinking about Rose and how that's I think her getting her ending with her Doctor. They kind of get their happy ending. Is I don't know, for some reason that works better. Like I don't bump up against that as much as I bump up against something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as that.
Yeah, which is interesting. But I guess it probably works in the sense of they can get away with it because we're never going to see them again. He's not technically the Doctor, but he is, so they can kind of work around it. Human, he's going to grow old and die eventually, so so there's that as well. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, like, I've been going through this whole thing going like, why, like again, like Donna and the Doctor were just great because it was just platonic, they were just friends, and they never went there and all of that stuff, and like that was great, that was fun. I mean, I can deal with romance, and if they wanted to do a romance between, which is I think maybe why even still I like 13 and Yaz so much, is because there was reciprocation.
Yeah.
Whereas
there was restraint.
And there was restraint. Yeah, there was restraint. Yaz handled herself very maturely, and it was very kind of sweet and endearing, both the two of them pining for each other kind of thing. Like it was, but here and then with bloody why have I forgotten her fucking name?
River Song.
Yeah. Uh,
Amy Pond.
oh, her name was just there. Season 3, Martha.
Oh, Martha Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. So even like with Martha and stuff, and even some of Rose's stuff, like, because from the Doctor's perspective, it's all platonic always. It's not reciprocated. It's when you see this kind of the way they kind of handle this, like, these women kind of falling over him, and now we have Amy throwing herself on him to a point of inappropriateness. It doesn't land because we're with the Doctor. We know, we understand. We're like, no, this can't be a thing. Whereas, when it's something like 13 and Yaz, it's a bit. It was just written a lot better in terms of. I don't know. It just works so much better than when you can see that it's reciprocated versus when you can just see it's like this sweet human girl is fawning over this, incredibly powerful alien, that's kind of sweeping her off her feet, and he's good looking and all of this, and
Her imaginary
it's
friend that she's known since she was a child.
yeah, she's got that child, like Amy has that childlike connection to the Doctor that, like, I appreciate that she's different to the other companions in that fact of, like, okay, she has this deeper connection to him, and so she's had this idea in her mind for, was it 12 years, I think?
Something like that.
10 years? 9 years? Whatever it was. She's had this idea of him in her head for so long, and going through puberty and teenage years in that time, she's only going to romanticize this hero in a blue box that, saved her when she was a kid, so, and now he's back, and it's like, oh, I get to be with this guy again, and it's all fun and games. Just, I don't know. I'm curious to see where they're taking it, because obviously things don't work out in that sense, but I don't know. It's just cringy now. Like, I don't think they wouldn't do that now anyway.
No. Sensitivity is a lot different, and it's changed for the better, I reckon. And unfortunately,
I agree.
as the years go by, it's just going to be more and more cringier, and unfortunately.
Yeah. I think that's the other thing is, like, I'm watching it. I probably would have a different opinion maybe if I was watching it back then.
And on
when
Tumblr.
this episode, yeah,
You'll be all for it. It's
when
like, I would fuck the Doctor. Jesus, look at him, him and his bow tie.
His bow tie.
Don't you talk about your bow tie?
I imagine I probably would have, a different opinion, because when this aired, I was 22. So, I was at the right age for this Doctor when this was airing, but I just wasn't involved in it. So, yeah, it would be curious to see what my opinion would be if I'd watched it at the time. But no, I can see with the glory of hindsight how certain things just don't age well.
It's like, that didn't work, unfortunately.
That didn't work.
Yeah, well.
Unfortunately, no. They tried something and it didn't land.
Yeah. Maybe
Scott
Pilgrim was a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Not to
he
look up
was.
to.
Anyway.
Two girls at once, and one was in the high school.
Yeah. Problematic.
But it was our problematic stuff. At least we can admit it.
At least we can, exactly. It's growth.
It's growth.
It's growth. But that being said, criticism aside, I'm looking forward to more. I'm looking forward to where the story's going. River Song mentioned some fancy word that I can't remember now that's going to happen. That's already happened for her. And I'm like, I wonder if that's connected to anything. I'm sure it will be.
Yes.
I can't remember what she says. You probably know.
Pandorica.
Yes, that thing. Now
we do
for
see
some
that.
reason with
Spoiler, sweetie.
Oh, good. Spoiler, sweetie. Yes. And then for something that we just seem to be doing now for this new version of the Doctor, I guess, is just showing the whole episode in a trailer at the end of every episode.
Yeah, kind of weird. I'm glad they stopped that.
It's getting old very fast, I will say. I want some mystery going in, but I am excited because the next episode is Doctor Who's take on vampires, and I'm looking forward to it and giving my
Vampires.
Yes, vampires. I'm sure they're aliens. Yeah, I'm looking forward
Maybe,
to that.
sweetie.
So.
It's spoilers. Vampires.
Vampires. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. It was a good two-parter, a good bunch of episodes, some ups and some downs, and bring on the next installment.
Yeah. Last week, it's I laughed. It's like we were thinking either do 2 episodes as we did last time. It's like, oh, the other one's a 2-parter, and it was like, oh, we need to do it as a 2-parter, so 3, because I would like to know what you think of the final bit. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Good call.
I am holding back. I am holding back so hard. Because there's a lot more.